Welcome to the North Coast Podcast, where we take our interviews and improvise entirely original hip-hop improv tunes based on the conversation. I am Doug.
I am RJ.
I am Dr. Brick.
I'm Adam Payne.
And our guest today is so talented, a multi-disciplinary artist living all over, based on your website, living all over the world, from London to Los Angeles to, I guess, living in New York City right now. We're going to get into it. Give it up for the drag artist, the comedian, David Puck.
Yay!
It's me! I forgot we were on camera and I was doing my best fashion poses.
That's why we are on camera.
Oh, yeah. That's a good thing, I guess.
Capture those nuggets of gold.
Yes, exactly. And you've got that post-run sheen, which we were just talking about.
It's looking beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, it truly is.
I'm going to market it soon. I'll be like RuPaul and just market everything I do.
I love it.
Buy some of my sweat.
Like a Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
Yes, very much like a Twitch streamer. Yes.
So, David, you are one of those multi-hyphenates where I look at all your accounts and I say, wow, this person does it all. What is your main squeeze right now? Is there a main thing that you're working on at the moment? And if you want to give us maybe like a little bit more about you as a artist in that answer too, but you do so many things. I just was like, wow, I want to learn more about like what maybe is the main project at the moment.
Yeah, the ADHD is strong in this one. She bounces around a lot. So for like the last 8 years, and actually since I was a child, but I took a big break in between to go be an academic briefly. But I was a painter.
Okay.
So I've been painting and doing murals and street art for ages now. And that was always my main art form. And it was my self-image as well. I was always like, I am a painter. I had horrible stage fright. So the few times I tried to perform, I was not good at it. And I didn't even enjoy it that much because I was so anxious. And then about 3 years ago, I started doing improv. And that combined with like therapy and other life stuff, I managed to get rid of the stage fright. And now I would say my main squeeze is performing.
Ooh.
Yes. And I do, like you mentioned in the intro, I do drag, I do comedy, a lot of improv, a lot of music. I stage musicals and write my own musicals. I have one being staged later this week. So all sorts of things, but yeah.
Fabulous. That's so cool. That's awesome. All right. So the main thing is performing right now.
Yes. And I do still paint, just not as often.
Got it. Because the paintings I saw, I was like, oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the murals are,
Thanks.
and the work and some of the collaborations you've done are top tier goals. So what does it feel like to have like maybe hit such a high point as a painter and then be humbled by performance where it's like, sometimes you do comedy and you're like, oh my God, I am the worst, right? So it's like, do you feel like the transition has been like humbling or in a way?
No, I think I'm really great at performing. So.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Love that confidence.
No, it is. It is definitely like starting at zero again. Okay. Totally. And yeah, painting went really well. And it's also something that I was good at since I was a kid. So I had a lot of confidence in it, especially as like career-wise it took off. So it was very much like, I'm starting all over again. But that was like exciting more than anything. It was like a whole other adventure. And I am confident now. I think I'm great.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
That's the drag delusion coming in. It's the most powerful tool that a drag artist has is our delusion.
It's the drag delusion. Drag delusion. If you want to see the vision, you need drag delusion. It's the drag delusion. Drag delusion. If you want to see the vision, it's the drag delusion. Check me out walking down the street. If you want to meet me, oh, that's cute. That's sweet. You won't get to unless you have a contusion. And like me, it's the drag delusion. Drag delusion. Drag delusion. If you want the illusion, it's the drag delusion.
Drag me now. Yes, I am quite the best. Yes, I'm here and I'm seeing quite clearly. If you don't understand that, you don't get my query. It's the drag illusion, the drag illusion, the drag illusion. It's the drag illusion.
Hello. Oh, sorry if I'm late. I was busy walking around thinking how I'm really great. Oh, yes, it is true. I'm the one that can do it all. I'm basically like your perfect icon, RuPaul. Oh, yes, I'm pretty sure I could win a competition. If there were division, I would be the first division. I can sing, I can dance, I can put on good eyelash. I can do most anything. Is there any skill that I don't bring?
Drag delusion, drag delusion, drag delusion. It's the drag delusion.
Oh, what's that? Sweat on my face. Oh, honey, no. It's much better than mace. It's Vaseline, beauty, glamour, and all. And I'll sell it to you for just $20. Drag delusion, drag delusion.
Not a steal.
Delusion. It's the drag delusion. I just had to.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And
I like
it's
a shout out to Vaseline too. That's like I don't feel like Vaseline gets enough shout out.
Yeah.
Because I use Vaseline every day. So that's why.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, I literally
wow.
use Vaseline every day.
Is that something that is visible to the eye, or is it like
I don't. You know what?
Are you
I think
keeping
so.
your butthole comfortable?
Well,
Or
yeah.
like,
No, I use it on my like all my arms, legs, like
Okay.
the body, all that type of stuff. And whenever I travel, that's the first thing I go to a pharmacy and I get. I'm like, I need to find my Vaseline. I got my Vaseline.
Wow.
Get the Vaseline. So yeah.
you sing your little Vaseline song.
Yeah, I take my Vaseline. Vaseline, VASE lean.
Vaseline, if you're listening, we have a new advert for you. It is a brand, right?
Yeah, it is
not
a brand. Yeah.
I forget that. To me, it's just like a product, but no.
Yeah,
And that's
It
what
has
they want.
that clean
Yeah.
syndrome.
that's what they want.
They're
Yeah.
in my head, man. They're in my head.
Right, just Uber there. But what about Lyft? Isn't it rideshare?
We played a great game the other day that was like conspiracy theory, where you just had to act like a conspiracy theorist and just connect everything that you could, you know, like the strings on the wall. It was fun. It was like a warm-up game.
I love that.
Oh, that's
All
a
right,
fun
well,
warm-up
yeah.
game.
Well, let's
wanna
do
play.
it. I like this. I like that David is like bringing the structure of the episode to the episode.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm incredibly organized, as you can tell by the fact that I was half an hour late.
Yeah, but once you came in, it's exactly on target. So, all right. So run one for us. Run a conspiracy warm up.
Okay. So Vaseline, right? It's so shiny and it's so gloopy because they can fit inside the cracks of your house. And you know what else is in the cracks of your house? Ants. And what do ants believe in? Community. And what is community about? Getting inside of your head. If you go back to 1947, who was the president of the United States? That's right, Mr. Head, who was the brother of Mr. Vaseline. And then like you could take over and just be like, yeah, I know, because...
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I was really trying to be like, no, I can get the president. I know who the president is. It's FDR, right?
Oh, I'm a big believer in making stuff up.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mr. Head, great president.
Mr. Head. Yeah.
Mr. Head. Yeah.
First name, Potato.
Well, you know, potatoes were invented by Big Agra in 1910 in order to combat bad political press by the Potato Head Corporation, which was where they got the inspiration for Mr. Potato Head, who was actually originally voiced by Darius Rucker. And actually Rucker, he got his last name because he was the original heir to the Fuddruckers fortune. But he went to one of those teen correctional camps, and then he got cut out of his inheritance. And did you know the word inheritance comes from the Latin word for hair, and because most people spent their inheritance on beauty regimens.
Wow. Wow.
It's
yes.
true, man. It's
not
true.
right.
Yeah, that's
Conspiracy.
true. That's true.
Conspiracy.
Speaking of regimen, there's a regimen was actually named after the Latin scholar Reggie Mann, who was a cool dude who used to spit bars on the block, and he would spit bars and spit knowledge, but he would spit about the truth. And the government, they tried to shut him down. They tried to silence him. They tried to regiment him, because that's the past tense of regiment is regiment, because it meant something. And you know what else means something? Darius Rucker, because he's a black country artist, right? And black country artists, we always talk about Beyonce. What about Tina Turner? She had a country album, but they don't want you to remember that because Ted Turner doesn't like that Tina Turner had the same name as him, and so he tried to shut her down. And the way he tried to do that was by taking all the Vaseline from the stores. Is that working?
Yeah, conspiracy.
It's the only
It's true. Oh, okay, you say it's the truth out there.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Oh, yeah. It is the truth. Except Tina Turner is not real. Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa.
Think about it, man. Tina Turner. Tina, Tiny, Turner. Turner classic movies.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay, follow me with this. Tina Turner is actually a Dickensian reference to Tiny Tim. We're sort of setting it up because mark your calendars for 2050. There's going to be an all-black remake of Tiny Tim's Christmas Carol. Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. It's all a marketing ploy. It is a setup because by 2050, things are going to be really cool between all the races, and we're going to have an all-black remake of Christmas Carol at the time when we'll be peak marketing capability. Now, advertisers knew this. Who knew this? Warren Buffett. Yes. The person that is behind Turner Classic Movies, not Ted Turner.
No.
Warren Buffett.
Wow.
Who loves buffets?
True.
It's true.
It's true. It's true. It's true. Yes, in the Golden Corral, there was Warren Buffett sitting and making a sound. He was chopping down the steak and chomping down the salad. Yeah, he was there and he was singing a ballad. Yes, all of it is true and all of it is fake. The moon landing, yes, that was a mistake. All of this is true. There are not conspiracies. You have to understand. You must believe me. It's true. It's true.
It is true. Oh, I thought you knew. Mr. Potato Head, yeah, he used to be blue. And he really was made of a potato. That is an actual fact. You can look it up and then you know. If you see the original images, they will be alarming because it is little ears and they were from a man. And then you put a man, you make him stand.
It's true.
Make him stand.
It's true. Make that
Okay.
man stand.
JFK is alive, and Castro runs the beehive, and Beyonce invented the internet, and Al Gore owns a stake in Vaseline, and Vaseline is petroleum jelly, and petroleum jelly is created by Bill Clinton, and Bill Clinton is actually in drag, and it's Hillary Clinton this whole fucking time.
It's true. Allegedly. It's true. For legal purposes. It's true. It's true.
Birds aren't real. That's not chicken in my Happy Meal. It's a human. It's Tina Turner. Yes, we're eating her. Yes, even her breasts. It's true.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
You better believe that it's true.
That's very accurate. Everything we just said. Very true.
Everything we
very
just
true.
said.
Very accurate.
That's all very accurate about you and your life and your art. Everything we just said.
Yeah, thank you for using all those facts about me. I appreciate it. You read the email.
Yay!
Yes.
Oh, I should give a shout out to Teaser also, it's one of their cast members that showed me that game.
Oh, right on.
Ooh,
Shout out
cool.
Rumble Teaser.
Who was it?
I've forgotten their name. I was trying to look it up on my phone and my internet is not working.
Rumble Teaser, isn't that the team Aaron Jackson and Hannah Solo?
Yes, I know Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
I've painted Aaron before.
Oh, nice.
Aaron's so funny.
So funny.
That's so cool.
Well, yeah. So David, tell us a little bit more about you. So I'm curious. You're originally from the UK, right?
Yes.
Yes. How has being from the UK influenced you as an artist?
Oh, okay. This is kind of a funny area. So British people are incredibly self-deprecating.
Yes.
Oh my God, you guys know the UK. Yeah, that's actually how I first found out about you. So you've done workshops at the Bristol Improv Theatre, which is where I started improv.
We love Bristol Improv.
Yeah.
Right on.
So I knew about you guys before New York.
Oh,
That's so cool.
that is very cool.
Right on.
Bristol Improv Theatre is so good as well.
Yeah,
So
shout out to
cool.
Bristol Improv.
Yeah.
They're awesome. Awesome town, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, British people are very self-deprecating. And I think that kind of feeds into the culture there and the humor. But it also means that I think the confidence, especially with performing, is a lot lower because there's a lot of like questioning oneself. It's like even when it's done in a jokey way, it's like embedded into the way of being. Whereas my experience of America is that people are much more extroverted and delusional. No, not really. I was just
put
trying
it
to tie it
nicely.
into the rap earlier.
We're all born to do drag.
It's true.
But everyone's so confident here. And it was actually a big motivation for me moving to New York was because I wanted to feed off of that confidence.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I think that is a big element, especially for performance art anyway, and especially with humor. And I notice it quite often. It's funny here that people will often respond to my like self-deprecating jokes and be like, no, you're fine. You're okay.
Yeah. And you're like, no, this is what we do in the UK. Yeah.
We hate ourselves and it's funny.
Does that self-deprecation, is it at odds with your comedic style or is it embedded into your comedic style?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think because drag, like we rapped about earlier, is all about being ultra confident.
Right.
But I think even with that, I'm still like making fun of myself a lot. So yeah, I think making fun of myself is like a big part of what I do. And like, if you look, my drag characters, if people listening want to look it up, because I'm not a typical drag like queen or drag artist. Like I dress as giant objects.
Yes.
I'll
I'll go ahead and like
it's so
heavily
cool.
endorse it too, because I've seen you perform many times, and your Instagram is wildly cool too.
Thank
and your
you.
performances, are very cool, and they're definitely I wouldn't consider your drag typical drag in any like sense of the word. Whatever you would define typical drag as, what you're doing is something very different. Like the last performance I saw you do, your face was a giant book, and during your lip sync, you had markers out and had everyone drawing on your face during the lip sync. Most drag artists do not do this. Yeah, it's just like very cool and very unique.
And I don't think anyone drew a penis, which I was so surprised by.
That is
I think,
rare.
from what I recall, you called that out, and then I think someone drew a penis in response, but not initially.
Yeah, I created that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that show, I remember that show, and it's with Coco Momo, who's an amazing drag artist. Shout out. Yeah. And we both do musical improv in our drag, which is also very rare.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's something that I really enjoy, and Coco does too, is like bringing improv outside of spaces where you typically see improv, and that's been really fun.
That is really cool. Yeah, because one thing I've always been so impressed with drag artists is how choreographed it is down to every single move. And the only times I see a lot of improv are when it's like getting tips and going into the audience. Then there's some bits like, oh, look at you, or oh, look at you. But the idea... Do you like that?
Crowd work.
Yeah. But the idea of doing musical improv as a drag artist feels like super, super innovative. I need to see you perform.
Yeah, it's definitely, people aren't expecting it.
Yeah.
And it almost feels like cheating, because like one time I had some actual musical improvisers like a while ago at my show, and I was like, okay, you know what I'm doing, whereas everyone else here is so impressed because they're like,
Yes.
oh my god, you rhymed.
Right. Yeah. Once you're like let in under the hood of how musical improv works, then you can't unsee it. It's like card trick. Yeah.
I wish I could go back and not analyze shows when I watch them, because I remember like Aaron Jackson shows, actually those are some of the first I ever watched during COVID on YouTube, the UCB shows, and I was just like so amazed, and I still am, but it's like now I watch it with a little bit of like scientific, what are they doing, and like how can I learn from it.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I like watching improv where I love moments that happen where it's like, oh, this is an awkward moment, or like I can imagine being on stage and being like, where the fuck are we gonna go? And I like being in the audience and being like, oh, how are they gonna get out of this? Or how are they gonna navigate this? What choices are each individual person gonna make? How are they gonna make decisions together? And I go into that mindset, and it's like kind of like a little puzzle. And when they figure it out, I'm like, wow, they did it. Like that's super impressive to me at this point. Do you find that your process for getting your drag art together, how does that differ from your more like traditional art, like on a wall, or like, you know, something like that, like the planning for those different types of mediums? How does that usually differ in your preparation?
Yeah, so the painting that I do like realistic portraits, and like I throw in like weird colors or like abstractions, but the base of it is like realistic. So with that, I'm like working with people. Like I work with a lot of drag artists with that as well. Okay. So there's not a lot of discovery and exploration. It's more, it feels more like meditative, and it's about getting to know the person. It's very calming. Whereas like performance is much more like I'm jumping off of a cliff. And recently I started free drawing, so just like drawing from my imagination without planning where it's going to go, and that feels like visual improv, and I really like it. But that's not, if you look at my Instagram, there's nothing like that on my page, and I actually only did it for the first time like a couple months ago, because and this relates to like the previous stage fright, I could never do it before because I had way too much self-criticism. Whenever I would draw a line, if it didn't have the safety of referencing someone's actual face, I would just be criticizing every single line I did, and I could never make anything because of it. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Where
like,
did the trust come from?
I think learning improv, honestly, like, well, actually it was a two punch. It was like the first punch was trauma therapy, and then doing trauma therapy allowed me to then learn improv, and that's what really like every day hammers it home. And like why I'm so inspired by it, because it's like I feel like every time I do it, I'm showing myself to just trust myself and to trust the world, and that everything's going to work out, and that whatever I say is good.
Yeah.
You know?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so insanely inspired by improv. Yeah.
I love that so much.
That felt really nice. Just like, I feel so nice now.
Yeah.
Warm, fuzzy feelings.
As someone who's like been doing improv for now 16 years, I'm like, oh, I needed to hear that. You know, because like I'm like totally disenchanted at this point. I'm like, oh, here's another round of yucks. And for you to be like, I learned something, I grew, I trusted myself. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, so much. And I was thinking about this earlier, actually. I do a solo improv show where I dress as a giant storybook, and it's very like interactive with the audience, and that's how I navigate like it being a solo. And so it's kind of like the audience is my scene partner. But doing that, I actually did that before I ever took a musical improv class. I just started doing it in drag in the UK. And it really was about yes-anding myself. Which like in some ways was even more challenging than yes-anding a scene partner. Yeah. Because it's like I have to actually like agree and not criticize myself. And so doing that show has like been amazing.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. When you say like yes-anding yourself, it makes me think about in a kind of a way of like clowning a little bit, like
Yeah.
because you're clowning, you're using the audience reaction to then go like, all right, I guess I'll do that more. I'll keep doing that, following that funny thing. But you're just being up there by yourself and being like, I heard that reaction. Let me yes and that and do that again, or like add on just a little bit to that and keep going with that. But yeah, that's all. You have any work in clowning that you like to do?
I do clowning.
Yeah.
I love clown. And I remember I first, so bizarre, I like first mostly did clown in like the jungle in India. And it's,
What?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna need that story.
Yeah. I was like, I love traveling. Like since I was like 19, I like did not like the UK. So I was like, I'm going to go other places.
With that accent. Sure.
Screw you, Tony Blair. I'm getting on the plane.
Very that. And yeah, like before I came to New York, I went to India because I'd never been there before, and ended up like at a bar meeting a guy who was a drama teacher at a school. And I was like, oh, I've always wanted to go to theater school. So I ended up at this 3-month physical theater school in the jungle in India. It's called Moving Parts. And it was amazing. It was crazy, but it was amazing. And I did clowning there. And yeah, I love it.
That's so cool.
Why was he running his school in India in the jungle?
So he was the acting teacher. The founder of the school is Melissa.
Okay.
That's her name. Just to like credit people, probably since I completely failed at crediting earlier. I was like, what's his name? I need to find that out.
We will credit the conspiracy warm-up creator.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have the team. We have Rumpelteaser, so we know
Yes.
it's one of them.
Yes.
And Rumpelteaser means teasing them.
Teasing a rump.
Oh God, I want to do a teasing the rum song, but I'll wait. So, all right, it's in the jungle. Melissa is the one that runs the school.
Yes. And why does she do it? Was that the
It's
question?
just, it's one thing to run a clowning school. It's another thing to run a clowning school in India. And then it's a whole nother thing to run a clowning school in India in the jungle. Like there's a why there. There's got to be a big why.
Yeah, there's a lot of levels. Yeah, Melissa is such an interesting person. She's done a lot of work. She mostly worked in Tanzania a lot, but she lives in India and she works a lot with using drama to, oh my God, I'm going to butcher this. Sorry, Melissa. But she works in mostly with refugees and using drama to like facilitate legal processes because a lot of refugee camps don't have any legal process. And so a lot of her work was like how to use drama. Oh my God. It's like drama therapy basically, but for like legal processes instead of just for like individual therapy and like community building. And so she lives in India now and she does that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is the jungle just like a bucolic, relaxing place to do that work?
I think so. The place that it is called Arambol, and it's kind of like since the 70s had a lot of hippies, and it's a lot of Russian people, interestingly, which adds to the like bizarre levels where like you're in India in the jungle, but then there's loads of Russian people around, and then it really does feel like a fever dream.
Yeah.
When I was there, I made a video like on the beach of like Arambol is a fever dream.
Okay. Yeah. I think I even have more questions now than when it started. But I just love that you did that. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And clown was actually, to go back to clown, what I found really interesting about that was what you were talking about, which is you really have to engage with the audience.
Yeah.
You can't ignore them. And if they don't laugh, you have to sit with that lack of laughter and you have to feel it. And I found that really, really hard at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I first started doing improv, I like would just look at my scene partner and I would pretend the audience wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so clowning taught me to actually engage with the fact that like the audience is there.
Yep.
Yes.
Active third participant.
Yes.
Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort.
Sit in this
And now, coming to the stage, all the way from Russia, it's RJ the Clown.
Sit in the discomfort. You gotta sit in it. You gotta bathe. You gotta do what you can. You shall not behave. You put yourself in your talent zone. Get out of your way. If you don't, then you're not going to grow this day. You gotta, what's the chorus?
Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort like it's a pile of shit. And then you stand in it, and then you sit in it. And then if the audience doesn't like what you're doing, then change it on up. Do something different like or hi. Or maybe look this person directly in the eye. You gotta do what works because you're missing it. They are the third participant. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort.
Oh my goodness, look at me, I'm 30. I've been here for a little while and now my back is hurty. But we are not finished with what we're doing, so I am going to sit here longer and just go through it. But when this is done, oh yeah, you better bet that I'm going to get my fill of a little bit of acetaminophen. Yes, Advil. Oh, it will be so much better when I'm standing up, when I strut.
Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort.
Ooh, look over there. It's a nice big chair. I'ma sit. Oh no, it's made out of pins and hair. Ow, it hurts. It's not comfortable, but I'll sit in it and all will be well.
Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort. Sit in the discomfort.
Oh, David Puck, thank you so much for coming on the
thank
podcast.
you, man.
Thank you for having me.
I feel like I could talk to you for many, many hours about all the incredible things you do and all that you are. Where can people follow you and what do you have coming up?
You can follow me Instagram David Puck Drag, Puck
Okay.
like a hockey puck,
Nice.
or if you like painting, David Puck Artist.
Love it.
Yes, and what I have coming up when is this being released?
This week.
Oh, amazing. So I have the Interrobang New Works Festival this weekend at the Brick Theatre.
Fabulous.
Where
That's
I-
in Williamsburg, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just there doing my tech earlier. And then I have 2 monthly shows, first Fridays at Dromedary and Bushwick with Coco Momo, we talked about earlier. If you love drag and musical
Adam, you want to
improv
shout
and
out Coco
silliness.
Momo too, right?
Yeah. Follow Coco Momo. She's cool too. I date her. Whatever.
Yeah, at Coco Momo City, I believe.
Yeah, it'd make it easier to follow her if I said that.
So Interrobang this weekend at the
Yeah.
Brick, and then what was the other thing?
Oh, 2 monthly shows, Dromedary, which is in Bushwick, and then I also do Puck's Playground, which is my monthly show that's like a drag variety immersive art that I produce. It's like the most me thing, as well as the one with Coco. And that is, it doesn't have a set date, but the next one is May 4th.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be amazing. We have Queens from Dragula, which is like a crazy drag horror show. We have Megami from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm so
That's
excited.
awesome.
Gami had a good week this week.
She did, yeah.
Love it.
I love it.
Fantastic.
All the rage right now.
Some
So
people
hot.
know.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you so much.